Disinformation is deadly. It can destroy the truth, almost like the missiles that Russia used to devastate Ukraine. Disinformation, in its essence, is false information deliberately spread in order to obscure the truth. This kind of distortion of the facts always has a context and a purpose. Context is in the form of a narrative, content with a false message, conveyed through various means of communication, and the goal is to influence public opinion through manipulation. In decades, the poorest Balkan societies, stuck in limbo between the loudly expressed Euro perspectives and the hidden look towards the East, have been victims of the spread of disinformation. What is the purpose of this misinformation? Why would a Balkan person, in the midst of daily existential battles for a better life, be interested in disinformation related to the Russia war aggression towards Ukraine? Simply, the unresolved geopolitical issues in the region leave room for undermining the hopes of the Balkan societies for democratization and Euro-Atlantic associations. And as such, it makes them super qualified as receptors of fake news to other centers of power. The trajectory of taking and reposting disinformation from Belgrade with local branches of Russian media centers, such as Russia Today Balkans, Sputnik, Russia Beyond, is more than obvious. There are cases some media repost the story directly from the original source, and then with the domino effect, taking the same story from media to media, sometimes even without naming the source of the story. There is even a certain pattern in the type of disinformation that is spread regionally, like the fake bomb threats in schools using religious communities for creating ethnical or other conflicts. These stories, purposely or without fact-checking first, are reposted from plenty of regional media. What is the depth of the spin that radioactive cloud is moving towards Poland and the rest of Europe? Russian state media, quoting the Secretary of the Russian Security Council, Nikolai Patrushev, has published a story about a destruction of depleted uranium ammunition in Ukraine, which produced radioactive cloud that allegedly has blown toward Western Europe. More than 30 regional online media took over this story in the next few days, led by Russia Today Balkan. Ukrainian and Russian authorities confirmed the attack. No depleted uranium was mentioned from each side. Both international and Poland's Atomic Energy Agency has confirmed that there was no increased gamma radiation in Ukraine. Regional fact-checkers proof-checked this disinformation. Why is this false construction made? The alleged radioactive cloud is a perverse attempt to spread fear and panic among the population and insecurity in the system. Russia is using the negative feelings of the people of the Western Balkans related to depleted uranium ammunition, especially as a recognized narrative from the time of the NATO airstrikes on former Republic of Yugoslavia. The message is that NATO actions are harmful, that due to its donations to Ukraine in military equipment and ammunition, the harmful consequences will be felt by the whole of Europe and thus also the nations of the Western Balkans. What is the background narrative that the bracelet General Zaluzhny wears has a swastika? Since Russian President Vladimir Putin issued the order for aggression against Ukraine on what he claims to be the denazification of the country, the narrative of Ukrainians as devotees of Nazism and Nazi symbols has not ceased to spread through the media and social networks. Russian state-controlled news website RussiaToday.com published an article titled "Ukrainian Army's Commander-in-Chief Poses with Swastika Bracelet." It featured a photo of General Zaluzhny that had been posted on his Twitter account days earlier. According to fact-checking site Lead Stories, the motifs and clasp on his bracelet resemble a design series that is marketed as a Viking bracelet, and the charm in question is called a Solomon's Knot. Fact-checkers from the Balkans region debunked this fake story too. The story of denazification is being built as the main Russian narrative, the purpose of which is to justify the brutal act of aggression. That is, that by supporting Ukraine, Europe supports Nazis, supports disturbed values. The alleged Zaluzhny swastika bracelet is used as a practical demonstration of the equation NATO and Ukraine equal Nazis, and that all members or aspiring member countries in the alliance have or follow Nazi ideology, as opposed to the correct Russian doctrine, as the savior in the military operation Ukraine. What is the purpose behind putting Zelensky's money up his nose? On April 4, 2022, a video allegedly recorded on Piazza Duomo in Milan appeared on a Telegram channel of a well-known disinformation spreader named Vecherny Omarov. The video shows the billboard with the picture of Zelensky on it, where people is putting donation money in a hole in Ukrainian president's nostril. According to Italian fact-checking platform Open, the video was widely shared and viewed by a Twitter accounts well known for spreading fake news such as Radio Genoa, Sprinter, and many others. The real installation has been proof-checked and concluded that there is no space in the billboard itself to contain any type of a vacuum system in it. The edges of the billboard do not correspond to the real edges of the totem. Regional fact-checkers proof-checked this disinformation. The billboard case is an attempt to visually capture the Russian narrative related to the question European citizens should ask themselves: where does our money go? Damaging Zelensky's reputation should undermine Western values and cause a revolt that the financial aid for Ukraine has been thrown into someone's personal pockets. These three egregious examples serve several primary purposes: undermining the functionality of the state system of the countries of the region, portraying the governments in these countries as incompetent, violation the Western values, spreading Euroscepticism, stalling or stopping accession negotiations with the EU. Finally, the main narrative of troll farms is Russia is the standard bearer of the new age and true values, of anti-imperialism, of the new just world order. Therefore, the public must begin to discern the truth in the sea of disinformation, because of creating pressure on public perception, which begins to build attitudes on piles of lies in the media. For that, critical thinking and media literacy are crucial